with that, let's go ahead and get started. So as I mentioned to some of the folks who were here early, my name is Duncan. I use pronouns he, him, and I'm on the communications team at CoGenerate. I am so excited for this program today. When I went to sit in on a rehearsal of Mind the Gap at the New York Theater Workshop, I was blown away by the creativity, collaboration, and warmth that I saw there. And I was over the moon that they were willing and so excited to do this program with us. So I want to go ahead and get started by bringing up Andrew and Alex, who are two of the leaders of this program, and I'll invite you on stage right now. Thanks again for being here. And I wanted to ask a couple questions just to get us grounded in this work. So this first question's for Alex. Can you just tell me a little bit about what Mind the Gap is and how the program got started?
Hi, everyone. My name is Alex Santiago-Jirau, he, him, his, and I am the Director of Education at New York Theater Workshop. And Mind the Gap is our flagship education program at the workshop. In essence, the philosophy behind our approach to engaging communities, which is always intergenerational and co-generational. Mind the Gap started in 2009 out of a desire to bring our audiences in the theater that tend to be older, and the audiences that we were cultivating in New York City public schools, obviously younger, and a desire to bring them together in a program that was co-generational, that was truly intergenerational. There are some intergenerational programs that place the elder in a platform or as a wise mentor to young people, and vice versa. There are programs where young people help elders with technology or writing, and this is not that kind of program. Really, is truly a program where older adults and younger folks come together to have an experience, artistic experience, learning about each other in true dialogue about the things that affect them both in both generations, and to find common ground through dialogue, through theater. You know, we believe that theater is the most humanistic of art forms, that storytelling is a human quality that needs to be nurtured, and talking to each other is the way we get to solve problems together. So the program started in 2009, and it has evolved, grown, and developed. And we have two versions of the program. Today, we're going to talk primarily about the playwriting version, which Andrew can talk more about the specifics of it. But we also have a devising version or a performance version where the teens and elders come together and work collaboratively and perform their work on stage together. The playwriting version, which you're going to experience a little bit of today, is one in which we bring professional actors to read the plays that the participants in the class have written. So it comes out of a true desire in New York Theater Workshop to engage community, to use theater as a tool for learning, for community building, for dialogue, and work with artists, artists in community. And so we're very lucky to have a roster of teaching artists that love this program, that love to work in community and love to work across the generations.
Beautiful. And I echo your point about this being such a co-generational program. One of the things I was so impressed by is the way that this is, like you said, an equal collaboration across generations. So Andrew, I know that's why this program was founded, as Alex said, to help foster that communication. Can you tell me a little bit more about how the program works and how it's designed to help bridge those generational divides?
Absolutely. Thanks for having us, Duncan, and everyone at CoGenerate. My name is Andrew Garrett. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I've been with New York Theater Workshop and Mind the Gap for the last 7 years. Alex and I have had the fortune of facilitating this program in Latin America, North Carolina, New Jersey, Seattle, a plethora of places. So how does it work? I'll focus more specifically on the playwriting model, but I'm happy to talk about the devising model potentially during the Q&A too. So the playwriting model, typically a group of 10 to 12, maybe 14 intergenerational folks, half of whom are teenagers, 5 to 7, and half of whom are elders, 5 to 7. meet together once or twice a week for a few months, a total of around 28 program hours together, usually meeting for 2 hours once or twice a week until the program finishes. Each session for the first half of the program is comprised of a few different moving pieces. There are theater exercises, ensemble or community building games. There are playwriting tools or 101 playwriting fundamental activities in case someone has zero theatrical experience, which is totally okay and encouraged. We also have intergenerational interviews, of course, which I'll talk more about in a minute. And we also give the participants excerpts from published plays to help accent or illustrate what we're learning in that class on that day. The interviews themselves are probably the core of what we do within Mind the Gap. Every teenager and every elder gets to meet everyone of the opposite generation one-on-one through a round robin style interview. So all 5 teens hypothetically get to meet all 5 elders one-on-one through interviews. Those interviews vary in length, but they all are centralized around questions that anybody of any age could answer. To Alex's point, it's a co-learning or a co-generational opportunity. So we're not favoring experience like, what did you learn during college? Young people haven't been to college yet, so that would not be a question that we ask in Mind the Gap. It might be, what's a big lesson you've learned in your life? The interviews are a huge part of what we do. Halfway through the program, all teens and all elders will have met each other one-on-one. And then we partner people with a more permanent or long-term partner, both by request and by design from the facilitators. And they spend more time, longer interviews with that permanent partner. That permanent partner, you'll hear from one permanent partnership today, Caitlin and Diane. They spend more time interviewing each other and eventually write a 10-minute play inspired by that person. We use the word inspired really intentionally because a lot of other theater programs will use documentary or verbatim theater, where I write exactly your story, Duncan. And Mind the Gap, I would use an essence of you, maybe a part of your amazing backdrop, to inspire a play, but I would also bring myself to the work and bring in artistic ideas. This allows us to be together in the space and use it as an artistic process rather than a memoir experience. At the end of the program, however many sessions that might be, each participant, 10 to 14, will have their own 10-minute play read by professional actors. And to answer the second part of your question, how do we make sure we focus on both generations and making an equal partnership? We have really clear cultural norms that we set from the beginning of the process, and then we also develop with the participants. We ask questions that everybody can answer. We truly value everybody as an equal individual within the ensemble. And I think the biggest thing we do is we lead, facilitate, and act from a place of acceptance, love, and empathy every day. Some people come in with a huge amount of experience. Some people have never written a play. Some people interact with folks of the opposite generation every day, and some do not. But all people come together and we move through that space as a community.
Amazing. And before I get to the final question, just letting people know that if you do have questions, feel free to add those to the chat or to the Q&A box. We'll have time for questions at the end after we see the performances. So one last question for both of you, which is, I know you have a performance coming up in Brooklyn, but for folks who aren't in New York or for folks who are, what are some ways they can get involved in and support this work?
Yeah, so thank you for mentioning that. We just started a partnership with Brooklyn Public Library. So our fall Mind the Gap program is based there at the library, at the main library in Brooklyn. And we will have our final readings in December. So look at our website, look at our social media, and if you are interested in joining, there'll be links to RSVP. We have the big auditorium at Brooklyn Public Library, and folks are welcome as space allows. But folks can always go to New York Theater Workshop's website, nytw.org, and certainly donate to make this program possible, free of charge for all the participants, which is an important thing to say, and also to allow us to bring this program to other places. If folks are interested in getting involved, there's many ways they can do that. They can contact us directly. My email is on the website in the Mind the Gap page. They can tell friends, older adults and young folks about this program and the application when the application is open, and recommend it to anyone in their lives that is interested in engaging in conversation, in co-generational, intergenerational conversation, and writing plays and theater. No experience required, as Andrew said. And if folks want to partner with us, reach out to us. The pandemic put a halt to our plans of expansion, but we're now thinking about multiple ways that we can continue to expand partnerships, not only in New York City, but around the country in many different forms. So we're developing a menu of potential ways to partner. Mind the Gap can be experienced, as Andrew said, as this 28-hour experience. We call that the Cadillac model, the BMW model with all of its powers. But there are other ways in which we can do intergenerational work. And we're thinking about developing curriculum. Well, we have a fully developed curriculum, but a curriculum that can be scaled and shared with folks, as well as sending teaching artists to other communities, both in New York and outside of New York. As Andrew said, we've partnered in a limited way with a number of folks in London, in Chile, in other states of the country, and we are really willing to do this work and share the knowledge that we have developed over the last over 10 years of doing intergenerational work. So reach out to us, and that will be the beginning of a conversation. That's what we say always at a New York Theater Workshop. It's the start of a conversation, and we might not end up in a partnership right away, but we build towards it, and we'll make it happen.
Amazing. Well, I know that I am really excited to get to the performances, so I would like to get out of the way and invite our actors to introduce themselves. So let's call them up and get things started.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren Moore. My pronouns are she, her, hers. Thanks for being here today.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nelson Avedon, he and him. Looking forward to this.
We've got two other actors that are going to join us, Jackie and Anthony. Come on down.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Jackie Rivera. I use they, them pronouns. Stoked to be here.
Hi there. My name is Anthony Ruiz, and I am he, him.
Thank you all for being here. You can go ahead and turn off your cameras now and get ready to start the show. For everyone at home, we can't hear you, but feel free to give our amazing actors some anticipatory love and applaud from wherever you are around the world after each of these next two shows. Before we jump into our two plays today, I'm going to invite Caitlin and Diane, the intergenerational participants who wrote these plays, to come on screen and introduce themselves and talk to us a little bit about their plays.
Hi, I'm Caitlin. I wrote I Like Baggy T-Shirts. I feel very special to not only have gotten to participate in this program, but also to have gotten Diane as my partner. She made me feel so loved and light and safe to be myself, and I'll always be so grateful for her. I hope you all feel those bits of Diane's warmth throughout this play I wrote about the tender moments of a hard relationship, which was inspired by the conversations we had about Diane's relationship with her daughter. And a content warning, this play expresses themes of depression and anxiety.
Hi, I'm Diane J. Harris, and I have been so blessed to be a part of this program. I had taken quite a break from my writing, and I saw the application for it, and I said, I'm going to try it. And I got in there, and I met people like Caitlin, who just uplifted me the entire time. It was just so wonderful, the energy that the young people give. They give it with lots of love, and I appreciated that. And I just had a wonderful time talking with Caitlin and learning things about her that really went along with how I've raised my daughter, who's a lot like Caitlin. But it was just the storyline. It was just so flowing. It was just easy, and I know I was supposed to do that through her. And I just thank you for all the energy and the love that you put forth for me. We really enjoyed doing it.
Thank you both. You can turn off your cameras and get ready to watch your beautiful work presented on Zoom for the first time. For everyone at home, actors and folks at CoGenerate as well, I'm going to invite you into a ritual of Mind the Gap. I'm going to count to 3, and wherever we are around the world, we're going to take an inhale and an exhale together, and then we will jump into these plays. So once I get to 3, we'll breathe right after that. Find your feet flat on the floor, make sure you're comfortable, get ready to enjoy these amazing plays by Caitlin and Diane. We'll breathe after 3. 1, 2, 3. Enjoy the show. I Like Baggy T-Shirts by Caitlin, inspired by Diane. We are in a young girl's bedroom. Her white pillows, white sheets, mattress, and blankets are all covered in childish doodles, hearts, and words. The girl is wrapped in a sheet. The dad is outside her door.
I miss Sugar Pup.
Clean up your shit or it's going in the trash.
I found a pen while I was sleeping last night.
Take all the sheets off your bed. Today's not a holiday.
I wanted to draw.
It's not a vacation day.
So I turned over and I drew clouds on my pillow.
It's a good old-fashioned work day. Take the sheets off your bed, bring them to me.
He's gonna yell.
Do I have to do it myself?
20 things no one knows but us. I like strawberry milk.
I eat a banana before work every morning. I hate getting sick.
I licked my toes once.
I'm a coach.
I just wanted to know what it tasted like.
Sometimes I see her pretending to be a dog.
Peanut butter.
Like she'll drink out of bowls.
I pee a lot. He has a scratchy beard.
She is obsessed with the ocean.
Did you know that the ocean can literally crush you to death?
She uses octopus detangler.
My favorite cereal is Fruity Pebbles.
My favorite cereal is Cocoa Pebbles.
He gets mad when my room is dirty.
I'm clean.
He drinks a lot.
I ride my bike to work.
He quotes movies all the time.
I made her brownies when her bird died.
It wasn't my bird.
Her teachers found all of her homework stuffed in the back of her desk.
I love the number 8.
I sit with her while she does all of her homework.
I hate the number 1.
She hadn't turned any of it in. She told me.
I didn't want to draw attention to myself.
She said.
The kids call me Charlie's sister, the one who dresses like a boy.
She likes wearing my T-shirts.
I like wearing his T-shirts.
She dances.
Sometimes he'll drive me to dance on his scooter.
She holds really tight.
I never eat snacks before school or after school.
She always wastes her food.
I don't want to leave crumbs.
My dad used to shove dinner down my pants if I didn't eat it.
I don't believe in the moon landing.
I don't believe in the moon landing.
He yells a lot.
She cries a lot.
I like to draw.
It's laundry day.
I don't want him to come in my room.
She won't open the door.
I don't want to cry.
Open the door.
I don't want him to yell.
Take all the sheets off your bed.
Okay.
Today's not a holiday. It's not a vacation day. It's a good old
I don't want to dance anymore.
I pay for those dance lessons.
He's gonna yell.
I didn't raise a quit.
When I dance, everyone laughs and everyone stares. And I don't like wearing leotards. And they say I look like a boy. And I think I want to go to the ocean. I don't want everyone to stare anymore.
Roll up your sleeves.
Why?
Roll them up. See all those hearts?
I know I'm not supposed to draw on myself. I know you said that I would get cancer, but I found this pen and
I got them too.
Dad rolls up his sleeves. His arms are covered in heart tattoos.
But yours are special. Yours are full. They're easier to spot, easier to hurt, and easier to hate.
They won't come off.
That's okay. It just means your love is tougher than most. You can't scrub away tough love. You still going to the ocean?
Yeah.
She's headstrong.
Did you know that the majority of the ocean is completely dark?
She is smart.
I don't think I want to be seen anymore.
She's special.
I don't want to dance anymore.
She's stubborn.
I kissed Sam. And she doesn't want to hang out anymore. And she doesn't want to see me anymore. And her mom won't drive me to dance anymore. And all the kids keep staring at me, and I think I want to go to the ocean, because I think that if I jump far out enough and I cry hard enough, I'll fall where it's completely dark. And then no one will stare anymore.
Going to the ocean?
Yeah.
All right, grab your floaties. Let's go.
What?
Wherever you go, we go together.
I don't want you to yell anymore.
Honey, we're not going to argue. I love you.
They hug. Dad holds girl tight. Girl starts to fade. Dad starts to read.
Sam
Hart.
Hart.
I don't want to cry.
I'm going to the ocean.
Hart. Sam. Hart.
I'm going to the ocean.
I miss Sugar Pup. I miss having a friend.
I found a pen while I was sleeping last night.
I know I'm not supposed to draw on my pillows. I'm not supposed to draw on my sheets. But this is the one place that he won't look. So I'm gonna draw. And I'm gonna say what I want. I'm gonna run away tomorrow. He yelled today. He yells every day, but he yelled hard today. Sam's mom called him. She won't take me to dance anymore. I'm gonna run away tomorrow, so I'm writing everything down, and I'm sitting here and I'm trying to remember him. All the things that he likes, all the things that he hates, and I can't. I don't know his favorite song. I don't know what makes him cry, what makes him tender. So I'm gonna make up my own.
"20 things no one knows but us. All the things I wish I knew. All the things I wish he loved about me. All the things I wish he had done. I wish he told me it's okay to cry. I wish he pushed me down grocery aisles, speeding up. I wished he held me. I wish he hung my drawings on the fridge. I wish he'd take me to the ocean."
The girl is gone. The dad stands alone in her bedroom, surrounded by her white pillows, white sheets, mattress, and blankets, covered in her doodles, hearts, and words. End of play. Thank you, Nelson. Thank you, Lauren. And thank you, Caitlin, for writing that beautiful play inspired by Diane. If you're at home and you want to send some love to the actors or to either playwright, please do so through the chat or write down a question for the Q&A and just submit it. We're going to jump straight into our next play by Diane. Here we go. Call Me King by Diane, inspired by Caitlin. The scene opens on a public playground. Ruby is sitting on a swing alone, going back and forth, back and forth. Matt, their father, approaches. He looks around as if expecting someone.
Daddy, you came.
Matt walks to the swing and gives them a hug.
Your brother said that he and the kids would be here today.
Yeah, not here yet.
You know, I don't have all day. I have to coach a soccer game at 3.
Come and push me, like old times.
Don't be silly.
Please? I want to be silly. Push me and I can go higher.
You're too big for that swing. You'll break it.
Just once, Daddy.
Where's your brother?
Rudy jumps out of the swing and runs to the slide. They climb up and slide down.
Catch me, Daddy. Don't let me fall to the ground.
You'll get stuck in that tunnel.
Grab my hand, Daddy. Please catch me.
Ruby runs and climbs up and slides down again.
This is ridiculous. Where is your brother?
It's always about him, isn't it? Patrick. Patrick. You're Patrick, the carrier of the family jewels. Catch me, Daddy, for the first time.
I have always caught you.
I haven't.
I caught you when you didn't know you were falling.
Wrong again. I've been falling ever since you left us.
I left your mom.
And me.
I never shut you out.
You left me and Mom, but you took Patrick with you.
Where is your brother?
Can this be about me today?
Okay. What do you need, princess?
I'm not a princess. Call me king.
Okay, King. What do you need?
I need you to catch me.
Matt stands at the foot of the slide. Ruby slides down and falls into Matt's arms. Ruby clutches him tightly and begins to cry.
Princess. I mean, King.
You cheated on us.
That was between me and your mom.
Then you married that skank.
Don't call her that.
I had to live with your messiness. Mom was devastated.
I know. I'm the bad guy. And where is your brother?
I'm leaving today, Daddy.
You need money?
No, just truth.
The truth is, I love you as much as I love your brother.
So why did you leave me and go raise that skank's children?
Your stepmom is not a skank.
She broke up our family.
There was more to it than...
She knew you were married. Only skanks go with married men.
Try to understand. Nobody's perfect. It didn't stop me from loving you.
It stopped you from coming around.
Your mom stopped me from coming around.
You got behind on child support.
Ruby gets on the seesaw.
Come on, Daddy. Get on with me. We never did this before.
We did when you were little then.
Again, please.
Matt gets on the seesaw and they go up and down.
Enough. I haven't had lunch yet.
Why did you leave me with Mom?
Because you were a girl.
I'm not a girl.
You are a girl. I saw you pretending to be a boy, trying to walk like me, always competing with your brother. So when you took off your T-shirt off to play basketball with the boys and your breast began to grow, I knew we needed to do something. We had no problems when you were beating up bullies who picked up on your brother, but I just thought you were a tomboy. I couldn't teach you how to become a woman.
Newsflash, neither could Mom.
Well, that is yet to be seen.
I'm just trying to be my best person. I might not raise a family. I may never get married and wear that beautiful white gown.
Matt takes Ruby's hand.
You're a beautiful, smart, young girl.
I'm not a girl.
Listen, baby.
No. You listen. I needed my dad, and you weren't there for me. I called your number, and she would tell me you weren't there.
Matt pulls out his wallet to show Ruby a picture of young Ruby.
I carry you with me everywhere. And when you came out of the closet,
I know. You were there.
your mom wasn't.
But you took my brother away from me.
Your mother couldn't teach him to be a man.
So you taught him to study ballet? Oh, such a manly man.
He begged me, so I let him try.
Always gets what he wants.
I was shocked at how much ballet helped him in football, basketball, and soccer. Better balance, jumping higher, and more focus.
I can see him wearing his tutu on the football field.
Where is your brother and the girls?
He's not coming. He's not coming, Daddy. He's not coming.
He called me.
I asked him to. I knew you wouldn't come if I was the only one here.
He lied to me.
I'm leaving today.
You need money?
No, just truth.
I hate that you are gay.
I'm non-binary. No gender.
See, I don't understand that. Your body is female.
But sometimes I grow a beautiful mustache.
Like mine.
Thicker.
That doesn't make you a man.
Not trying to be.
Just be yourself.
I can't be nobody else.
Matt hugs Ruby.
Where will you go?
New York City.
You need money?
Yes.
Ruby goes back to sit on the swing.
Come and push me, Daddy. I want to go high.
Matt pushes Ruby higher.
Not too high. I don't want you to fall.
Just then, the chain on the swing breaks and Ruby flies towards the ground.
Ah,
Matt lunges after Ruby and scoops them up before they hit the ground.
oh. Oh.
You caught me.
I will always be there for you, Princess.
I love you, Daddy. But please, call me King.
They embrace. End of play. Thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, Jackie and Anthony, thank you. And most importantly, thank you, Diane, for writing that beautiful play inspired by Caitlin. That is the end of our 2 plays that we're going to share with you today. I'm going to invite Duncan back to the screen, and I believe we're going to start a Q&A with the audience. Thanks again to our amazing playwrights and actors. Everyone at home, they can hear you, they can feel you if you applaud.
Wow. Thank you so much, Diane and Caitlin and Lauren, Nelson, Jackie, and Anthony, actors who put that on. I was not prepared for how moving that was going to be. Those were incredible. As I mentioned, and as Andrew just mentioned, that was our talk back. So if you have a question for Andrew, Alex, or Diane and Caitlin, or any of the actors, feel free to add those to the chat or the Q&A. But I want to get started. You can probably hear that very loud horn. I want to get started with a question for Diane and Caitlin, which is, I would love to hear about your experience with this program. If you wouldn't mind, just take me back to when you first met at the beginning of this program and where you are now, and what's changed through your relationship with each other and through going through Mind the Gap. And if one of you wants to start, go ahead. But if not, maybe I'll call on Diane first.
Well, let me just say, after this experience, my daughter said to me, Mom, I've been telling you this for 40 years. But it took me hanging out with Caitlin to kind of, I don't know, maybe just burst that bubble that I had of questioning about non-binary and, you know, the semantics of the gender thing. So when I met Caitlin, I'm not going to say it was easy for me to grasp them and their, because I kept saying she or her. And so that was one of the things that's changed about me. Now I understand a lot more about this next generation, which, you know, I think as you get older, you just raise kids up and then you let them fly. And I had not even really investigated what the next generation was talking about because, you know, we already know everything. But I just really thought that it was a lot more education for me to hang around these young kids. And not just Caitlin, all of the kids in that group were just so special. You know, I was talking to one of the girls, she was 15 years old, and I said, "You're 15. You know, you're a baby and you know so much." So just the exposure of the program itself was an educational experience for me that I'll never forget.
Yeah. I think that before I had met Diane or even participated in Mind the Gap in general, I had never really had that dynamic with like the older generation. I felt like regarding sexuality and gender, all of those conversations I had consisted around people my own age and my own friends, which I had those environments to be myself and to be who I wanted to be and be loved and seen for that. But I had never had that in like a more professional environment, I guess you could say, or especially in regards to a different generation. And with Diane, like from the first time we talked, she was so interested in everything I had to say. And it was like the first time someone actually wanted to get to know me and my view on the world and how I exist in it and how I express myself and how I see myself. And no one had ever even asked me about any of that stuff. And she gave me this like safety net to just say everything I wanted to say. And also, I mean, Diane talked about how she said that she learned stuff from me, but I feel like I learned so much from Diane. And it helps me learn how to have those conversations now with people who don't really understand like pronouns and gender and stuff like that, which is totally okay. It's especially with older generations, that's just such a new thing and something that people aren't used to. And you just have to, I think the thing we talked about most was just like the humanity within people. Like it doesn't matter who you are, if you're different, if you present differently, if you look differently, if you are raised differently, everybody's human. And I think that was our strongest connection with that. And she gave me a lot of hope for my own future as well as the future of the world, I guess.
Yes.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much, both. There are a couple of questions in the Q&A that relate to kind of the nuts and bolts of the Mind the Gap experience. And maybe I address this to Andrew, kind of combining a couple here. Joyce asks, how does the interview process work? Who questions? Is there a template in the program that others form? And there's one more question from Anonymous, which is how long do the co-generational pairs work together? So if you could just give a little more detail on the process of this playwriting and interview process, I think that'd be great.
Yeah, so Mind the Gap was initially started by Alex Lewin. I just want to give honor to his legacy for starting the program in 2009, as Alex mentioned. And he was a teaching artist, but his background was in journalism. So interviews were integral to the process because of Alex Lewin. And Mind the Gap continues because of the Alex we have with us here today. And the questions are all pre-written by the facilitator. It could be me, it could be a different facilitator. And those questions are timely. They could be about what's happening in the world now, but most of them are timeless. They're about joy, they're about sorrow, they're about growth, they're about family, whether it's found or an inherited family. So the questions are typically timeless, but some of them are contemporary, and they're asked of both the elder and the teen. So the interview goes both ways. Most interviews are between 10 and 20 minutes long. We split the time right down the middle. So let's just say 10-minute interview. Caitlin would have 5 minutes to interview Diane, and Diane would have 5 minutes to interview Caitlin. They both start with the same question from the facilitator. And then after they answer that question, or as they're answering that question, the interviewer can ask the interviewee any follow-up question they want. If the duo loves the question, they can stay really tight within that line of thought. If they actually want to take in a different direction, they can then depart and follow their own curiosity. So I think the short answer is interview time is split evenly between the two partners. The question is predetermined by the facilitator, but where the conversation goes is really up to the partner pairing. And we talk about how to ask good questions and how to follow the rabbit down the rabbit hole, or how to listen attentively at the beginning of the program to set all of the folks up for success. Because most people don't have a lot of experience conducting formal or more informal Mind the Gap style interviews.
Thank you so much, Andrew. Another question we've gotten from a couple different folks, and maybe Alex can address this one, is how do you recruit people for both the older and younger side? Where do the participants in Mind the Gap come from?
Yeah, anywhere we can find them, really, truly. Youth predominantly come from, schools. So we do a lot of outreach to middle schools and high schools, just to remind everybody the age for participation in Mind the Gap for teens is 14 to 19. So we have worked with students that are also in a gap year or freshman in college. So again, so we as wide as possible. We have really wonderful partnerships in our education programming with New York City public schools. So we recruit at our partner schools and schools all around the city, whether they are public schools, private schools, or charter schools. We're open to anybody that is interested in applying to the program. And we also reach out to after-school programs and youth programs anywhere that folks are serving young people. Because New York City really is the New York City, greater area, the New York City metropolitan area, we also have youth from New Jersey, particularly during the summer when they can commute into the city. So we've had youth from New Jersey and Connecticut and Long Island. So anybody can join us. Yeah. And the elders, our audiences, a number of organizations that serve elder population. I should say also as well that Mind the Gap, the program has adapted its curriculum to work with LGBTQ youth, queer youth and queer elders in particular. The program that Caitlin and Diane participated in wasn't solely for queer folk. It so happens that our values spread to talk about all of the issues that affect and society and represent the mosaic of our community. But we have created partnerships with a number of LGBT community centers around New York City, and worked also with SAGE, which is a national organization that serves LGBTQ elders, and Griot Circle, which is an organization in Brooklyn that serves LGBTQ elders of color as well. So the program has been adapted and can be adapted for specific communities as well.
Thank you so much, Alex. I would love to invite the actors back on stage. And I'm curious for you all as artists, what has participating in this process meant to you? And maybe we can go around in the order that you introduced yourselves. Starting with Lauren.
Hi, everyone. Again, my name's Lauren Moore, she, her, hers pronouns. So I had the privilege to be at one of the first read-throughs of both of their scenes for the first Mind the Gap in August. And that was my first time being within Mind the Gap as well as an actor. And I was so blown away by the vulnerability and the trust that each partnership had with each other, and that the entire group had for one another. And it was such a beautiful space for people to know that they could share their stories in any way that they wanted to, and kind of express a new way of creativity. And as an actor, I've never written anything before, but it really inspired me to think, oh, what could this bring out in me, and what story could I be telling that might inspire others to have meaningful conversations that are important. So I am so eternally grateful for this group of people, and for Mind the Gap and New York Theater Workshop for having these playwriting workshops, because it's going to do a lot of good for the community and for all generations to come. So thank you.
Thank you. Let's move to Nelson.
It's been a great experience working with really talented people all around. You never know what material is going to be like when you join a new group. I was pretty blown away by these short plays. Especially since some of the writers didn't have much experience writing. But these are pieces with a beginning, a middle, and an end, characters that you really care about, and an emotional wallop. So it's been a great pleasure to do it. It's been enlightening and inspiring too.
Oh, thank you. Jackie.
Yeah. Hi again. My name's Jackie. I use they, them pronouns. I've been doing the Mind the Gap reading since I've known Andrew in 2016. And throughout the time, I came out personally as non-binary in 2019. And at that time, I was still doing Mind the Gap. And this was basically one of the first places I've been able to do material that spoke to my gender identity. As much as LGBTQ content is being generated and being supported today, it's as an actor who has this life experience, it is hard to find yourself reflected in the amount of work there is out there for us to do. And so it's been really inspiring to not only honor my own self and story, but to honor, you know, kids like Caitlin and other writers, young writers like Caitlin, and to also see how the elders like Diane can find themselves in the material. And so that we expand the representation around these stories. So it's not just about Caitlin, it's also about Diane and her life experience. And as an actor, a lot of the theater's seasons and a lot of the plays that get produced are decided upon the audience, are decided upon what the audience wants to see or what that particular audience clamors for. And to be able to continue creating work like this that expands that kind of representation for stories to be told with more diversity, and to have older people whose stories that isn't necessarily to see themselves in it is really powerful, and feels like there's a future for me in this career and artistry. So thank you.
Thank you. And Anthony.
Well, I think it's really important to just represent all the colors, all the spectrum. I mean, we've got so much negativity, and I try to stay away from the news and whatnot, but there's so much negativity right now happening in the country, dividing people, that it's so important. I feel that we, as the artist, has the responsibility to not only play characters that are negative and positive, but just to unify and to teach. That's what theater and or the arts are all about. You know, I remember many years ago when I went to the Prado Museum, and I sat there and I saw this one painting, and it was a painting that I had seen before in books, but it wasn't until you see the work of the artist, the hands, the way they painted the painting, that I was so moved that I just sat there for several hours. And after spending several hours crying, literally, I realized what this had done to me, which it had opened my heart to understanding the world better. And that's what this is all about. It's just people just getting together and saying, hey, we're all the same. Let's cut the crap and have a good time. It's a great trip. So I think that's what's important.
Thank you so much, all. I just want to share this comment we just got from Paula. I had no idea what to expect from this session. The plays and performance were exquisite. Please know that your work has and is making a huge positive impact. Thank you all for your willingness to share your experiences with all of us. Just wanted to make sure that you all saw that. And I totally agree. We got one question, I think, from Steph, which is, are all the plays this powerful? Which is kind of funny, but I want to expand it a little bit and note that, I think both of your plays were so personal and heart-wrenching. And I'm curious if there's, in general, if that's the way that these plays trend, or if there's a difference in genre and tone depending on the pairs.
That's a great question, and the answer is yes. It so happens today that these two plays were centered around parental, relationships, parent-child relationships, and exploring similar themes. But the plays range in style, in theme. There are a lot of humorous plays. There are a lot of non-chronological work. There's a lot of work that explore fantastical words and heightened language, and even verse and comedy and satire. So a lot of our curriculum actually pushes folks to explore what their preconceptions of what writing is and what theater is and what a play is. And that is in line with our values at New York Theater Workshop. We are a space where we experiment both with form and content and aesthetics. And we're interested in saying a play can be many different things, and that's fine. I saw a number of questions about how do the folks, write? And the truth of the matter is that it's also a writing seminar that doesn't look like a writing seminar. So we offer quite a bit of support in teaching folks that haven't had the experience to write, and even folks that are writers to push themselves and write in different ways and take a risk in their own writing and explore things that they haven't explored before. So there's a lot of support, there's a lot of feedback. There's a lot of reading the assignments and the work that the participants bring in and providing feedback, both from the instructors and the group. So yeah, it's a community. We're trying to build a community of listeners and folks that give feedback that is centering on the artist that is in front of us, right? And not to say this is how I would write the play, but really, what is it that you're trying to achieve in your writing, in your storytelling, and how can I provide feedback that is going to help you to do what you want to achieve artistically?
Oh, Diane, you're on mute.
All right. Your staff is excellent also. And I have never been to a workshop where I actually would leave and be excited to get some homework and get the homework and get back to the workshop. It was just incredible. I mean, just the focus on the resources, and Andrew had us up dancing so much, just, you're getting your body moving, and these things are very important. They're very important to when you're writing like that. And I think the staff was excellent. So
Amazing.
I want to add, is that
go ahead. Go ahead.
That, sorry. I just want to add on to that as well and just say that from the first day, the environment is just, I've never experienced anything like it. It was so welcoming, and like the staff made everyone feel so comfortable to get to know each other, because so much of the bulk of the program is sharing really vulnerable parts of yourself with strangers, people you've never met before, and people you never thought you would share those parts of yourself with. And they make you feel so comfortable. And the people in the program too made you feel so loved to do all that stuff. It was really amazing.
I just want to add that we don't shy away from difficult conversations about stereotypes around young and older folks, right? That part of the process is also saying, what does society tell us about young people? What does society tell us about older adults? Let's just put it all out there, and let's begin to talk with each other's permission, right? Let's put it all out there and begin to demystify what it means to be a young person in today's society, what it means to be an older adult in today's society. And we have tough conversations about all that represents, because we cannot get through it if we are not authentic and real with each other. And so the only thing that we ask participants is a willingness to be open to learn new things and to respect each other in the process of communication. And so we talk about aging, we talk about being a young person in today's world. It's necessary. So we never shy away from difficult conversations. We just set parameters and group agreements so that the thing that is at the core of every communication and every engagement is respect and mutual appreciation, regardless of whether we agree or disagree. Never disengage. We can agree to disagree, but never disengage from the conversation. Stay present.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. I think that's a beautiful way to end things. I'm so sorry. There are so many more questions we couldn't get to, but I do hope that you will attend the upcoming shows in Brooklyn, get in touch with them all the ways that Alex mentioned earlier. We will include that information as well as a recording. I know a lot of people asked about that in a follow-up email, so please be on the lookout for that. And thank you so much again to all the participants, and thank you to everyone, all the attendees for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, CoGenerate. It meant the world to us to be here today.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
everybody.